say that there's when there's good playing, there's a lot more to say when there's bad playing. Because bad playing, you just kind of don't know where to start. But with good playing, a lot of the stuff is defined. So I actually have a lot to say to you, but take that as a compliment. Yeah. You know, I think that your basic sound is beautiful and a very nice sense of vibrato and stuff like that. I want to talk about a little bit about this piece. Is a great illustration of a way of considering what's special about each piece of music. You know, each piece of music sounds different than every other piece of music. This sounds like Bruch, and Bruch sounds different than Mozart. And so we can, I'd like to explore, at least as we start our time together today here, about how we identify with a piece of music. One of the things we can do is to develop kind of some visceral sense for the piece. And it could be as simple as, you know, putting in a place setting. We could say, I would like to play this piece in the middle of the night in Notre Dame Cathedral or something like that. And that piece would be, would be this piece. That'd be definitely the piece to play if I ever got a chance to be in Notre Dame Cathedral at 1 a.m. So one of my colleagues is actually a guest organist at Notre Dame, and I realized this, I saw him on the street and I said, ooh, I could actually make that happen maybe, which is scary. So I'd have to practice the Bach D minor prelude. Yeah. But anyway, you could put it in a place setting. I like to think about music as food, different times to think of what kind of food it would be, but we just had lunch, so, yeah. So that's out of the place. But you can also create stories, right? And so with this story, I like to think of romance, because it's called romance, right? I like to think of it in a sense. I don't think our society does, you know, romantic kind of attachment anymore, or progressive steps. We just kind of jump to some kind of end product here of becoming Facebook friends. So let's talk about kind of how this might appear as a romantic story. Okay. Mm-hmm. So do you have a story for this piece, or can you imagine a story at the beginning?
Okay, kind of, yeah. I mean, not personally, but I could see one happening.
Okay, so what happens at the beginning? What's the first viola entrance?
The viola entrance is like the melody. So I feel like the intro for the piano is just like, you know, someone walking. Oh no, the guy, he's walking, and then he sees the girl.
Right.
And the girl is playing, and this is her melody.
Oh, she's playing the melody?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I like your story. Go on.
Okay. So she's going, she's perfect, and then he's like, oh, I wish I could have her, right, on that D flat, and then
on the D flat.
Yeah, because on the D flat he's like, I'm not good enough. But then,
where's the D flat?
Instead, like arpeggio.
This one.
Yeah, but the arpeggio to the G.
Right. There's
arpeggio
hope.
to the G is there's hope. I could try. So.
Okay, so yeah, so I have a similar thing. My thing is totally that he's minding his own business, and then he sees the girl, and it's, you know, she's perfect and all that, right? And she hopes that she's smart when he starts talking to her, right? And so the da-da-da-dee-da-da-dum. Then the next time, I don't think he ever talks to her, right?
No.
Da-da-da-dee-da, he just kind of turns the other way.
Yeah.
Next time he sees her again, and he actually is able to talk to her, right? More intense, right? Mm-hmm. And then, so let me tell the story kind of while you play it, okay, from the beginning. So the first one has to have some kind of reverence or, you know, untouchability, right? You see the beautiful girl across the thing and you say, wow. Yeah, see, I think yours is a little bit bold. I think yours is a little, I'm going to go up to that girl. I was never that way. I was like, gee. It's a pretty girl over there. You know, okay. Be a little bit more in awe. Nice. And be inspired. We'll talk about the rhythm in a minute. And you go back home. But then you see her again. And it's a little hotter, right? Talk to her, and you're not sure whether she's going to call you back. And you sigh, and and you sigh, maybe I'll never see her again. Oh, that would be so sad. But maybe, if I go to her concert, then we can do something else, right? So it's good to have a story, whether it's, you know, however silly story, but it kind of makes sense. I mean, that story makes sense to me in terms of how, you know, romantic attachment may have started back 100 years ago before society is ruined. Okay, so let's talk about how you guys, you are in music school. So you are learning things in theory class. You're learning about, yes, right. So we are learning all this stuff. Now, nobody ever tells you, your private teacher usually doesn't tell you, I don't know, sorry Michael, but private teachers usually are not supposed to tell you, and the theory teacher is not usually supposed to tell you that this idea of theory classes and things like that, they're not just hazing rituals that you have to go through because we went through them, but they're actually designed to help you interpret music. So I want to think about how, try and discover how Bruch uses melody, harmony, and rhythm in this piece to further his aims, right? So what happens before you come in? Pretty much nothing, right? In terms of the harmony, right? In terms of the rhythm.
Yeah.
So what do you do at the first? You've got this this note. What is that called when that A comes before the downbeat? A pickup, but there's a fancier term, something which anticipates the downbeat. It's called an anticipation. Good. And the theory teachers will be very proud of it. So, do you hear how that makes a very special kind of a grab? So can you kind of grab that note a little bit more? Can we start right on the viola entrance? And what scale degree do you start on? Or do you guys use scale degrees? Or yeah, so it's 3. Imagine what this piece could sound like. Can you start from the second measure? Listen for a second. Listen. So, right? You could start that way.
Yeah.
But he starts this way. Good old Max starts this way. Right? Starts already like in some sense of awe, right? Then T-a-dum, right? That anticipation has a special quality. And then that D is scale degree what?
6.
6, because it's an F major, right?
Yeah.
So you feel that da-da-da-T-a-da-dum. It's going higher than that.
Oh.
So I have this theory about, how many of you come from a place where there's a transit system where you, like there are zones where you put in a transit card and you go only so far on a certain fare? Do you know what I'm talking about?
They had that when I was studying abroad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. In America, we don't have those kind of stuff.
California not known for its
public transportation. Yeah. Okay, so I have a theory about zones, travel zones in music, that the zones 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is one fare zone. You can travel anywhere within that zone for the same price.
Yeah.
But as you go from this note to that note, it costs you another $1.50 to go there. Okay? So the fact that it's a D costs you more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's that's the first zone. Here's the second zone up to the tonic, and then the next thing would be another zone, and so on and so forth. So we have some clues already as to why we feel the way we do about this piece, starting on a 3, the anticipation, and then going past the zone, right? Can you try right from the viola entrance again? Ready, and... Good. Sorry, that sounded more like scale degree 1 than scale degree 3. Ready? Yeah, good. So that one, the anticipation, right? So, and the 5 is the most intense note in that zone, right? So 3 is somewhat reverent. 5 is intense. then you back down again. Right? It's like the southern people. The weather, I say the weather is beautiful. Right? Okay. And to end good, then hotter. Another anticipation coming here. Another anticipation. Right, exactly. Good. So I notice you start your trills from the principal note a lot, and that's something we can all come up with. I mean, how many of you have read those endless Baroque treatises on how to do trills? Like, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Have any of us, even so-called educated people, read those? Not really. We were supposed to read them back in college, and we would like skim them a little bit. Because they always end up, the French people who wrote about this excessively, because the French people were always about decoration, they always would give you all these rules, and they said, but in the end, you have to do it according to le bon goût. Your own good taste should tell you what to do. So there's no right or wrong thing about trills, but I would, something coming from above here, I think it's nice. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It makes a connection from the D. I think it's nice. So I would consider them coming from the top.
For all of them or just that one?
I would consider it for any of them. It's never wrong to have a trill start from above.
Okay.
But sometimes it's right to have it start from below if the line is dictating it. Okay, so so we're working with this first part here. What period of music is this out there? What do you think? How many of you would say it's Baroque? Renaissance. Okay, what period of music is it? Romantic. Okay, so what classifies romantic music? Don't give me a time period, but give me some characteristics of romantic music. What?
Vibrato.
Vibrato. Okay.
Like a lot.
Good. But that's how we play the music. What characterizes it from the music's standpoint?
More singable phrases.
Okay, that's good.
Melodies.
What else? How would you know this is not Beethoven or Mozart?
Because like the cadence, not the cadences, but like the harmonies aren't exactly like maybe not diatonic, but like not in the chord. So
Okay, so harmonies are more advanced, or more more fuzzy.
Yeah.
I think for me, though, one of the main things that characterizes romantic music is the rhythm, and that the rhythm is very full of rubato, which is, I thought you were close when you said auto, but you said vibrato. I was going for rubato. Can you play this where you play every 8th note with the bow? So something like this. But don't play it in time, okay? Play with as much rubato as you possibly can. So I want you to imagine for a second that you were near a large body of water, okay? Which is not so far. Not so difficult here in Santa Barbara, right? So there's this large body of water, and it's a fairly calm day, so there's very few waves. Nothing going on underneath the water, right? Not really. There are whales and other things that go on underneath the water, currents, right?
Yeah.
So what we see on the surface here is just the top, but there's all this undercurrent stuff, right? And so as musicians, if we can develop this undercurrent beneath the notes, then the top notes will be reflected by it. You know, if we put a boat on top of a current, it will move on the ocean, which is apparently not in motion. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Right, that was kind of a far-fetched analogy, but does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'd like you to play, can we try from the beginning? So just me and the piano, so something like this. Okay, so supply all the subdivisions, okay? But don't have it be metronomic.
Okay.
So I want you to play subdivisions, but not metronomically. Most of the time when people tell us to play subdivisions, it's to do it metronomically, right? But this is different, because we're violists. Good, Eric, go ahead. Good. I loved how you started. I loved you might release it though after the beginning of the C. I felt you were kind of slow during the whole C, from the C. Ready, go. Good, nice. Yeah, you can do that kind of stuff. We'll feel a little bit silly doing it. So, good. Going back to this phrase. You saw how I was using the bow and the rhythm?
Mm-hmm.
What I would like to say is that rhythm, when we play rubato, which was your word that you wanted to have in romantic music.
Oh.
When we play rubato, rubato is always a result of the sound.
Okay.
And when sound and rubato go together, it's very meaningful to the audience. When you don't, when you try and do rubato that's not supported by a change in sound, it's not as good.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in this note, in these notes, tell me what you see and hear. What do you see, Eric, or what do you hear?
It's quieter when it's slower. Wait, yes. Louder when it's faster.
Quieter when it's faster. So I'm pulling and releasing, right? And so,
Mm-hmm.
so in some sense, the notes, or another way I would say it, there are sticky parts to the notes.
Okay.
So the beginning is sticky rhythmically, but it's also sticky with my bow. So. Right? Can you try that again and see which parts of the note feel sticky rhythmically, and on those make the bow really go deeply into the string, and the ones that you want to release rhythmically, let the bow fly also. Sorry, we got the right harmonies now for you. Good. So we'll take a poll of your friends here. These are your friends, right?
Yes.
Okay,
All
good. Depends on what they say right now. There's whether they remain your friends. But was he better at slow bow or fast bow? How many people think he was better at slow bow? And how many people think he was better at fast bow?
Oh, ouch.
Play it again. We used to be your friends. So you have to answer one or the other, okay? But you want to confuse him,
Right.
okay?
Okay.
You want to be good at both. Maybe that's what they meant.
Oh.
Aha! Good. You're confounding us. First of all, did you hear how that changed when he added slow and fast bow? It was really good. What I was expecting to hear, or it was really intending to hear, was slow and fast bows combined in the same note, on the page. But what you did is you played throughout the phrase, you developed from slow to fast bow.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You played slow bow here, then you played fast bow there.
Mm-hmm.
Try and, within this note, to have a variety of
Okay.
slow and fast bows. Okay? So the beginning of that note is the sticky part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ready, and... Good. Does anybody want to comment on how that sounded? No, apparently not. Okay. What did you think of it?
I thought it was better than before.
In what way?
And that it was like, there was more variety and it was more interesting for each note. It gave more value to each note.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of the piece. And now let's try playing it not this way, but try to link them all together. And so within that note, you're going to have the sticky parts of the bow be sticky, and the release parts be released. So it starts sticky, then it releases some sticky, and then grab, and then super sticky, kind of all release, right? Then sticky again, and released. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So try within the notes to experiment with sticky and release rhythm and sound going together. Okay, right from the viola entrance, ready, go. Good, good. Can you try that once again? Can you be even more courageous? Try crazy things. Okay, let's talk about, I mean, this is a good thing to talk to college people about things you should not experiment with. Driving your car 40 miles an hour faster than you should around turns, right?
Right.
Drugs, you know, strange sexual things, you know, all the things that college people are tempted to do by society.
Yes.
Those are all terrible. They can, each one of them, ruin your life, okay?
Yeah.
If you make crazy radical experiments in music, your life won't be ruined. Right? The worst thing could happen is somebody could laugh, or you could say, wow, that was really silly. But you may find good things, you may find inventive things, right? We're inventive people as musicians. We are looking for creative things. And so we should channel all that energy into being crazy and creative with the bow, okay? Do something that may embarrass you with the bow, okay? And you might find that 2/3 of the time it's not embarrassing you because you're a good musician, you know? Good. So, yeah, your friends were all nodding their heads. They like that. So when we try and do bow speed variation, it's not a subtle thing. It has to be really, 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 really obvious.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That was good. Good. Let's skip to the second phrase. Let's just jump around the piece a little bit. Da 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 da, yeah, the entrance after B. Do you know what chord she plays here?
No, there's a D flat.
Yeah, good for you. It is a D flat chord. So this is a super surprise, right?
Yeah.
Stuck in his thumb and pulled out a kumquat. You know, it's definitely not a plum, right?
No.
So can we play that second entrance? And can you play an F major chord on the downbeat? So da 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 da.
Oh, you right.
Good. Could be that, but it's this instead. Good. So how does that chord feel to you?
It's like inventive, creative, and ordinary.
Is it
Extra.
richer or less rich? Is it in more
Richer.
or fewer calories? Right. Okay.
No.
Okay. Do you want this? With musical surprises, we can decide whether we want them to be surprises or not.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, a surprise can be a complete surprise and be effective that way, or it can be a surprise that's prepared. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's called a pre-surprise or something. I don't know. Try it again. So, do you want to prepare this one or not?
If I prepare it, they'll know it's coming, right?
Uh huh.
No.
Okay. So try it without preparing it. Okay. That was a surprise, wasn't it? I was expecting an F. So. Sorry. I should talk. I'm playing this other viola. I don't know where the notes are. Try again. Oh, but you prepared it that time.
Did I?
Oh, totally. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think this is a prepared surprise, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Good. Then, what happens here that's interesting?
The piano is subdivided.
You are so good. So can you use the piano there?
Yes.
More? Then what happens? What is happening here?
It's not doing that again.
Right. But it's a repeat of this thing. But we didn't resolve the issues, right?
Uh-huh.
So let's play from here. From this, it's conveniently labeled. This first note is conveniently labeled F, which is nice because it is an F.
Yeah.
Right. So go ahead. So prayer of the surprise. Go ahead. It takes a while to chew on that. But now where you jump along, so you go wandering. But you didn't get very far, so you're going to try a different one. You're going to try higher. Good. We might get, you're playing Schwanenberger?
Yes.
First movement, right?
Yes.
Okay, we may get more into this in Schwanenberger, but there's a nature of every rhythmic subdivision. You're saying yes, yes, yes. What does he mean by that? So 16th notes, are they resisted or are they fluid?
16th. Oh, fluid.
And triplets, are they resisted or fluid?
Resisted.
Okay, so I think it's like when you have triplets and 16th notes, it's kind of like making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh.
The peanut butter is the triplets, T da 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 T da da, right?
Yeah.
So peanut butter jelly, T da da T da da T da da T da da da. You played these notes with the same character.
Okay.
Did you hear? Can
Yes.
you hear that in retrospect?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what about eighth notes?
I would say even more resisted then.
Yeah. Eighth notes. We can get into this, but you guys are all smart people since you're Westmont students, right? So you can do math. Okay. So somebody decimalize for me 1/4. 0.25. Good. Thank you, Eric. Okay. And then decimalize a third. Difference is 0.083 repeated, right? Now decimalize a half. 0.5. So between 16th notes and triplets, there's 0.08. Between triplets and eighth notes, there's double. There's 0.166.
Oh.
So T da 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 da. So T da 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 T da, right? And we'll definitely hear that in Schwanenberger, okay? Which we're gonna get to in 4 minutes. Yay! Okay, so let's try this again. Can you play with all these rhythms against each other, right?
Yeah.
And then what do you see? What do you see in this line? I see a lot of sharps and strange notes and stuff like that.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
F sharps in something that's in F major, and E flats and weird stuff like that. Okay. So just by looking at the music, you know it's getting harmonically more active, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're gonna move more bow there, right? Okay. So let's try again. Da, 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 da. Prepare the F as beautifully as you did 2 times ago, please. Can I say that when you arrive on the D flat, you don't really want to be there? That's how it should be, that you don't really want to be on the D flat. So you play this time, can we play it? You were satisfied with it. You should play something more like this. That makes some sense? So you're trying to get away from the D flat after you play it.
Oh, okay.
The D flat chord, your F, right?
Yeah.
Try again. Now, yeah. Good. Use the piano to help you. Justify the higher register now. Justify the register. Treble the 4 16 notes. 16th. 16th. Because you're back to some semblance of F major here, right? By being on the dominant. Tell me about this middle section.
Okay. Well.
This piece is in ABA form, kind of, right?
Right. Well, I was told that this is a more simpler passage. Not passage, but like section where it's just not as like maudlin and like gushy, and it's more kind of
Peaceful.
I guess, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go. Your canoe doesn't go through quite so many rapids.
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is your part simple?
No. Well.
No, it's got 16th notes. It's got a lot of fast notes, right?
Yeah.
So the melody is simple, right?
Right.
Is there a melody here?
I think so.
And how does the melody go?
I think it's the same as before.
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
Same as it's kind of sectionalized a little bit. It's in the orchestra part, right? Have you listened to the orchestra
Yes.
part? Okay. So you are kind of the bling,
Mhm.
right? What's the nature of bling?
No substance, but it makes everything look nice.
Okay, great. So one thing I would say, it sparkles. It catches light. Bling catches light. Does that make sense to you? I mean, I think that's the whole point of jewelry, is to have different surfaces that catch and reflect light.
Mhm.
So can we try and have you reflect light? Yes, it's very simple, and yes, it's peaceful, but it's also, you're catching light and stuff like that. And these might be like some kind of earrings that blow and catch different kinds of light or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can we have one bar?
Right at C.
We're, no, I'm sorry,
After
we're,
D.
You didn't know, that's after D, the horn notes, the C, C, C. She started at the top. It's 2, 3, 4. Let's continue the idea of these were earrings. Are they like 45-pound earrings? They should be very light,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so I love, I don't know, maybe it's something you're doing with the bow, but you've got this sound going where you're really trying to pull a big fat sound, which is a very great thing to go for during freshman year. I would like to also see that in this piece supplemented with the sound. You know, what instrument would this be if not viola? Anybody? Quickly. Clarinet. Good. Good. You're a good spokesman for the group. Right? Can you kind of play it like that?
Right? How they look?
This was Paris. There's clarinets there. Don't worry, they make fun of violas too. Good. So these notes, dee-da-dum, are they anticipations or are they syncopations?
Syncopations. No?
I don't know. I mean, anticipation is a special kind of syncopation. Dee-da-da-da-dum. The piano chord changes on the next beat. So I think a syncopation, an anticipation would have more energy than a syncopation. Does that make sense?
So these are anticipations.
I feel that they are. I think they grab early as opposed to bounce off of.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they are technically definitely syncopations because they're in the middle of the beat. But do you understand my distinction?
Yes.
Yeah. I like that a lot, Eric. So you're still at a young stage with this piece. You know, it sounds really great for 2 weeks. As you continue to work on this, I would say try and find the things that make this especially Baroque and romantic. And those things have to do with the harmony and the rhythm and the rubato, and that you could reflect those in the sound color through bow use.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yes.
Great. Great to hear you. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a big piece.
It is such a big piece.
And would you consider yourself to be a large or a small person?
I always consider myself to be a small person.
Okay, and I consider myself to be a small person also. So
Okay.
so I think that we have to figure out how to maximize everything here. And how many of you know Karen Tuttle and her coordination thing? So there's a whole school of viola playing that's based on something Karen Tuttle taught, which talks about releasing energy and letting energy fly through our bodies. And I do similar things. I wasn't privileged to study with Karen Tuttle, but I think I've found some of the same principles. And I talk about mine. I call conductivity, because I don't think that we end up. I think that we generate the sound in one place and it comes somewhere else. So where does this music start in your body?
Where does it start?
Mm-hmm.
I just say it starts from my fingers.
Okay, that's I can't disagree with your answer, because I
Okay.
think that's probably true. But as you're watching somebody play, it might end with the fingers, but it probably
Right.
doesn't start with the fingers.
Maybe not.
So where might it start?
My arms.
Ah, the plot thickens. Okay. Yes. So and then if you are really mad at somebody and really yelling at them, which I can't see because you seem like a very nice person, but if you were really yelling at somebody, where would that start?
Start? I feel like I would like derive energy from my lungs to actually
Good.
find the words.
Or even from your stomach, like,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah, that's good. So can you go? That might be all okay. So can you go? Can you try just making some kind of tribal grunts while you do it? If you don't do it, Josh can help.
What?
Sure.
Okay, you have to keep the tribal grunt going while you're playing. It covers up the first chord, which has a big
Okay.
advantage to it too. Good, but so I want you to be able to continue the ha, the release of energy, ha. I think oftentimes we're not released in our torso because of how we bow and stuff like that,
Right.
and then we're not like throwing energy into the bow.
Okay.
Try it. Good. So I think as you study more on the viola and try and figure out how to approach big pieces like this, I think you need to find a lot of energy. And that sounded really good. Did that sound?
It sounded better to me.
It was
a little
easier
bit.
to shift, and everything we do is easier if it's all released. Okay.
Yeah.
So the energy really starts here, which means as we look into developing the pedagogy of our bow arms, we want to make sure that it's not stopped anywhere. Okay.
Okay.
That you don't need Drano somewhere in your arm system. Okay, and where I feel that you have the biggest kickback from the bow, well, you said that you began with your fingers. I kind of agree with that. I think that you stop the energy a little bit at your bow hand. Does that
Right.
sound familiar?
It's an ongoing.
Right.
Is it ongoing?
So I think that the biggest thing we can do is to have nice round, super highway kind of curved stuff like this, right?
Mhm.
If we have like too high wrist or any one of these things, right? So you have it. If you want to, get a really, really good bow arm, I think all you have to do is watch yourself play in the mirror. And do you ever practice like things wrong on purpose? I do all the time. Sometimes I practice them right on purpose too, but usually it's wrong. And you could try. So you could try with your shoulder too high. Try open D string with your shoulder too high. Good. Now try with the elbow too high. Relax your shoulder. Good. Elbow too high. Good. Good. Now elbow too low. Good. Now wrist too high. Everything else fine though? Good. And wrist too high. Good. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anytime we put something that's out of a nice, smooth, relaxed, natural line here, we get in the way. So can you try just from the beginning? Try to feel a line.
Oh.
Low C. I'm so sorry. So can you feel it coming from the small of your back all the way through? Good. Good. So let me try and this is great. If the bow arm ends at the hand, where does the bow arm begin?
Guess upper arm, shoulder.
Try and have the bow arm begin all the way in your back. Okay. If you all try to stand up for a second. Put your left hand right here not on my back, but on your back. Okay. And now move your arms around, and can you feel how the muscles back down there are moving? So that really the bow arm goes all the way into there. Okay.
Wow.
So can we? Yeah. Wow. So can we try it again? Can you feel it? You may sit down. Right. So try to feel your knots. Good. Try and get it all the way into the hand. So you feel that time your shoulder got involved. Right. Relax your shoulder. Good. This is how we learn how to throw fire. I would like to throw fire. Wouldn't it be great just to
Yeah.
throw lightning bolts at people? some teachers sometimes. So try it again. You're good at throwing fire. That's great. Good. Play from the beginning. Just throw fire now, okay? Into both hands, but mainly the bow hand. Good. Good. So tell me about this piece. Der Schwellendrayer by Hindemith.
It means a swan turner.
Yes.
So like an organ grinder.
So what's your theory about? It's a kind of a cryptic title. We don't really know what it means, right?
And
But it sounds really nasty when you say it. Like
It's-
German words always
yeah.
should be pronounced nasty like that.
but it's
Der
based
Schwellendrayer.
It's like an organ grinder, and it's based on German folk songs. That was like if there's like a plaza, it's like there's like a monkey, and then there'd be like an organ grinder.
Right. So this is a traveling minstrel, right?
Yes.
And so the title of the first movement means he's going between
The mountains and the deep valley.
Right. So can you just imagine this guy kind of out walking and singing? I can imagine him singing and listening for the echo, right?
Yeah.
So even though it's a big piece, let's just, can we just play the melody? As if he's singing. I realized the rhythm was terrible. Good. Can you ever imagine that you could be in a place that like had hills and mountains and stuff like? Oh, of course. Because you have the ocean and you also have hills here. So. Can you play it and like look as if you could hear your sound echoing in the hills? Good. Fantastic! That's so beautiful. See, I think a lot of people, because of the way this title sounds, they make it onomatopoetic and they make it sound like not singing and beautiful. I think it's a very beautiful and relaxed song, right?
Right.
So could you play again from the beginning? Just the melody? Right, okay, sorry, T sharp. Does that make sense? So now the chords are there to enrich the melody, and the minor seventh is a consonance, right? That helps things. So then it gets more complex. What's funny is these are minor sevenths, and they sound totally fine. So then the sixth sounds like dissonances, don't they? It's terrible. Six. Oh, thank goodness we're back to minor sevenths. Right. Okay, Hindemith did some really cool tricks there. Okay, so can you keep this open singing sound, but then amplify the consonants or dissonance of what you're doing? That's nice. It gets easier, you know, when you've been already up in front of people for 20 minutes too, right?
Yeah.
Good, that sounds great. Now, one of the crazy things that I do that makes people not like me is I ask them to play a thing.
Okay.
Like play the first thing of the piece, okay? And there are a lot of correct answers to this, so people give me like, what do you want me to do? And I say, just play the first thing. And they say, can you define a thing? And I say, no, you have to define a thing. So,
Okay.
can you play the first thing?
I think that's what I consider a thing.
Yeah, I think that's dropping in the mid. A little something. But it was interesting. You couldn't make yourself stop, could you?
No.
So I think the fascinating thing, this could be a thing, right? Or, but not really. That could be a thing, but not really. This could definitely not stop. No, you can't stop yet. So it goes all the way through to the end of the cadenza. And I thought that you kind of came to that conclusion as you were going through it, which was really fascinating to watch you do that. So it's fun when we play a phrase to think of how far we're going to throw our grappling hook, right? Do you ever think of that? Like where you're going to go in the phrase? So when you play, you're already to thinking all the way to there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that you need the download bar. People who know me know that I've talked about the download bar. I think the download bar is, like, this is hyperbole, but it's one of the greatest inventions of mankind ever. Can you imagine life without a download bar? It would be terrible, right? Usually I talk about the download bar and people look at me kind of crazy, but you're nodding. You must have downloaded some things, like some programs or something like that, or pictures, or, you know. You really need to know where you are, okay? So can you help the audience with the download bar?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Like knowing where things go.
Yeah, knowing that it's going to be a long phrase, so you may as well pack a sandwich now at the beginning. Right? Okay, ready? Go.
Oh.
Could you all do this? Can you all put your hands up? And now I want you to have your hands down at the end of the cadenza. Okay. Some of you don't know this piece, so Michael and I are going to be at somewhat of an advantage. That's good. I'm not even going to do it because okay. So play again, and I want you to show them whether whether you're there or not. Are your hands in motion? They should be in gradual download bar motion. Right? It's not over yet, right? It's not over yet. That's cool. Did that feel different to you?
Yeah, it feels different.
Because instead of thinking of surviving all these difficult, complex rapids, you were thinking of trying to tell the story more, right?
Yes.
And so this idea of spinning out this long phrase, it's really amazing. It's a really fun thing. Let's talk about how that's different maybe than the fast part of the thing, which is all motivic, right? It keeps interrupting itself a lot, right?
Yes.
Can you play the motive of this allegro part of it?
Oh, like the beginning.
Yeah. Good. Fantastic. Can you play the second time that motive comes in?
Sorry.
Good. So, which is more exciting, the first one or the second one, and why?
The second one.
I agree. Why?
Because it starts changing a little bit.
Do you want to ask, phone a friend? Ask somebody from the, maybe Leah knows why the second one is more exciting. Why is this one more exciting than this one? It's higher, right?
Right.
It's also a very specific higher. It's a fifth higher. What key is this piece in?
I think it's in C.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's kind of really, really extended C, but it's in C major.
Yeah.
So we've got the tonic key here, the G. So that has to be announced really loudly, in spite of the fact that it's not on downbeat, right? It's on the third beat, it interrupts itself, and the fact that it's on an upbow, right? Yeah, good. And where's the next one?
Not for a while.
Do you see that one?
Yes, I see that one.
Do you see this one? Dum da 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 dum.
Da-dum.
Okay. Do you see them all?
Yes.
So audience participation is always fun at master classes. So I want you to clap when you hear dum, ba-dum, or some version of that, okay?
Okay.
2, ready, go. Okay, so these come in, yeah, so I'll help you this time. We'll nail it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Alright. Violists in the room are going like, hands together, okay? I know very few violists. 2, 3. Good job. Down. Now. Good. Does that make sense? Great. Now, so this motive, I mean, finding out where these things are and pointing them out is really good and it's helpful to the music. I want to talk about playing loudly and aggressively here. Okay. Loudly and aggressively playing viola. Do you recognize that tune?
Yep.
Okay, it's a good tune. All right. I think you could use your massive amounts of arm weight here. How much do you think your right arm weighs?
5 pounds?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I was going to say 3 or 4, but would you like to put a 4-pound weight on top of your viola?
No.
No, probably not. I mean, think of like a, it's like 2 of those hand weights that you go walking with, right? You probably wouldn't want to do that. So that's enough to crush the viola. So we want to use as much as possible the potential energy of the arm being up here to make things happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm on good behavior here since I'm a guest, but if I were at home in Oberlin, I'd be dropping things like chairs or stands or people or something. I just, so can you imagine that you're going to drop your arm weight? So everything is going to be from above and you're just going to drop it. Good. So the nice thing is I think this floor is fairly sturdy and you could drop something on the floor and the floor, I was going to say the floor wouldn't move, but this is California, so it may move after all. So can you drop the weight but keep the viola firm? Good. Keep going. Fantastic. Good. So this is tremendous. Did you feel how easy it is to play loud? If we use the potential energy of the right arm just to drop it and create the arcs where it works, then that's just a matter of doing this maybe, or sliding the chair across the room. Right? The chair is exercising the weight on top of the
On the floor.
on the floor, and you just slide it, right? Can try once again. Wait, piano maybe from there. That sounds great, and it sounds much easier, right?
Yes.
Playing the viola really well is much easier than playing it badly. It really is. It's just kind of hard to find. Let's go to this other place. The mashed potatoes and gravy and ketchup and... Could you try dropping this just by yourself? Good. Can you explain to me, by the way, there's no such thing as a wrong fingering? But only like 15% of them are wrong. But it's good to think about, why are you playing an open G string there after the F sharp? Is there a reason for it?
So it's easy.
Great answer. Good. What would there be a musical reason to play fourth finger? What's the musical reason?
It sounds
Why?
I'd like to say more like a fuller sound or a richer sound.
Okay, you're thinking about a fourth finger as opposed to an open string.
Right.
But let's look at the musical construction of it, is what I was referring to. So the notes that are slurred together belong together.
Yes.
Does that make sense? So those two belong together. This belongs with that one. Do you see what I'm saying?
The cross.
So the next one I use open because the A and the B flat belong together. Right? So that's just a thing. Whenever we look at music, well, fingerings, we try and figure out what the patterns are and then have our fingerings conform to those musical patterns. Should these notes be longer or the same as these notes? So the question is these notes and
I feel like one can take a little bit of time to just develop the chords since there's 3 notes instead of 2.
did you do it? You didn't do it over there.
No. Perhaps not.
I don't know. So for all these things, there's no necessarily right answer, right? My father's a wonderful, wonderful artist person. He's a theater director, and he told me this joke, which is one of my favorite jokes still. 2 people standing in an art museum, and they're looking at a work of art, and one person says, that's a great work of art, and the other person says, you're wrong. And that's the greatest joke ever. Because it's impossible, really. I mean, it's kind of opinion, right? So you could be right, or I feel that that the units in this go by the dynamic scheme. So that's the first unit. The second unit happens that way, and so within the unit, I would try and be as unified in articulation as possible.
Okay.
Does that make some sense?
Yes.
So if you do that, you have to have a heavy arm and a really relaxed hand, right? Because otherwise the hand will bounce, the bow will bounce you out of the string. You have to be very close to this rod. Okay, can we try again? Maybe with a piano, 2 bars before I. One more time, now we know where it is. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Good. Can I play it once?
Yes.
This one is? Just the same thing. I'm exaggerating quite a bit, right? But do you hear how it sounds weird in the middle of the phrase to change to a different voice?
Yeah.
A different kind of speaking. So try and keep it more unified, okay?
Okay.
Good. We have like 5 minutes. Do you want to do anything? Is there anything technical that you want to do? Because I haven't done anything technically. I've been doing pretty much more musical things. Oh, yeah. Turn the page. Can you play from letter Q? Do you mind playing?
Yeah, I can try.
So ready and. So she's gonna play the downbeat. Can we play the bar before Q, please? 1, 2, bar before Q. 2, treble clef. 2, 3. That has some strange notes in it, right? So, how do you practice that? Because it sounded pretty good.
I took it apart and just played the intervals together on the piano first, and then tried to tune it with my viola.
So what were the intervals that you found there?
I think they should be 6. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're sevenths, right?
Sorry.
But basically they're octaves, right?
yeah.
Right. So F, G, F, right?
Mhm.
Did you practice octaves there? Did you do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then did you practice? Sometimes our best practicing is changing the way the notes appear, right?
Mhm.
And so what I do in this passage, I practice the octaves and get that pretty good.
Right.
And then I reverse the note order. So. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So let's try it that way. Just play the octaves with me first. From the F. Do you see where we are?
Oh.
We're on that one. So just play the octaves first. F octave.
Oh.
There you go. G octave. Probably open string. The octaves, right? Do you see we're playing the first and third note of each group?
Oh, okay, that's right.
Okay. Then G flat F. Right? Good. So maybe you haven't learned anything yet today, all day, but maybe you haven't learned anything since 1 o'clock either. But if you haven't, here's something good for you to learn. Do you ever realize that you go to a master class and you invest all this time in a master class, you may only learn 2 things? But if you learn 2 things, that's a lot, right? Because you could, like, sometimes you go to a master class, you don't learn anything. So here's something good. If you can't play in tune,
Yeah.
it's one of 2 things. Either your hand is not in the right place, or it's not divided correctly,
Okay.
or it's both. Okay? But think about it. If your hand is in the right place and it's divided correctly, and your strings are in tune, you're going to be playing in tune.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very simple and liberating concept, okay? So what we're working on in this one is we're working on the hand being in the right place by playing the octaves. Right? Right, we're working that way. Then we're working on the hand being divided correctly, which is minor 7, right, and then major 7s. So then. Then you can practice it like this when you get to this part with the minor 7ths, major 7ths. And the violinist will kind of walk by your place and they'll snicker and they'll say, oh, those violists, they can't play octaves. So, of course you can. One shoulder instrument person? Student only here? That's terrible. Okay, raise your hand. Okay, so Lilia, keep your hand raised, okay? And you have to put it down when I encounter an interval that you don't practice, okay? Octaves. Do you practice octaves? Okay, good. Thirds, sixths, fourths, fifths. Okay, sevenths. Yeah, I think we should practice every single interval if we can.
Right.
I mean, certainly octaves, certainly thirds, sixths. Fourths are fantastic. Fourths are really, 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 really good for setting your hand. But sevenths, for violas especially, because we have all this hindemith stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
We should practice sevenths. So I would recommend playing parallel major sevenths, parallel minor sevenths. I don't actually get into the 2 different, if you play in the key, you're going to have some that are bigger than others.
Mm-hmm.
I just play like a C scale over a D scale in this case. And I would also recommend playing like learning to play scales in major sevenths. Those were not octaves, Amy, I wanted to say right away, they were not octaves. So you get just physically the feeling, okay? Which is another thing that we can say about playing in tune, that we can play in tune if we know what something sounds like, and we can play in tune if we know what something feels like. If we know neither how it sounds nor how it feels, we're probably not going to play it in tune, right?
Right.
Okay, so you want to develop those senses kind of separately. Okay?
Okay.
Good. So thank you for playing Der Strandreher, and I want to encourage you to know that even though we consider both of ourselves small people, that we have enough, you know, girth and right, just to be able to play super loud if you just let it go. Okay? Thanks. I'm going to talk about a couple things, since you haven't played this much with the piano together before. Talk about a couple things that we can do to help out. That is rhythm a mental thing or a physical thing, do you think?
Rhythm, I guess it's more physical.
I agree with you. Okay, good. So I'm going to ask all of you in the audience to conduct, okay? So can you play from the beginning, and can you conduct whatever you want to? Okay, I'm just curious. You know, she's not the only one that has to perform here, okay?
Am I following them, or am I just
No,
playing?
you're just
I'm
playing.
just
And they're-
Okay,
just
good.
conduct with whatever you feel like
Good.
conducting, okay?
Okay.
You know, I know that Dr. Schosberger is not here, so I was supposed to find out who's ever going to conduct the next orchestra rehearsal by this exercise. No, I'm not. Don't worry. One of my favorite songs from Sesame Street is "One of These Things Is Not Like the Others," and one of the people was conducting something completely different than everybody else. Is it Dr. Kim or Mr. or Professor?
Among students, Dr.
Okay, so he was conducting something different than everybody else. So he was conducting circles. He was or big beats. Everybody else was kind of going in 4, which is great. He was going. It's actually totally perfect. Can we all try that? Can we do what he was doing?
Yeah.
Can you play? 2, sorry, you just have to keep playing the viola. 2, ready, go. So big circles. So it feels different when you feel it that way, right? And so when we hear it that way, we actually hear some very cool things going on. So, can we start from the beginning? Now you all have a job. This first note, is it a consonance or a dissonance, okay? I'm going to play. Ready, go. Consonance or dissonance? Consonance or dissonance? Consonance or dissonance? Consonance or dissonance? Okay, so let's try that again. So how about if this? How about you thumbs down for a dissonance, thumbs up for a consonance, okay? I just want to see what people are thinking. And you can join in this game too, okay? Ready, go. So it's, you're like, I don't know. I have a variety of So, but I think this is a bunch of suspensions. I think it starts out with, the goofy thing is that it takes a bunch of notes. Technically the first note is a consonance, but it functions as a dissonance. Let me try it. So this functions as an unstable note, which resolves to this note. But then Bach says that's not stable either, and it comes back down. Did I say Bach? Brahms, it comes down to here, right? Can you do that? So can you make a tension between the suspensions really and the resolutions?
Okay.
Ready, and you can keep doing this or not as you desire. You can do this inside. You don't have to move your hands. Good. So name 2 things you can do physically, violistically, to make the suspensions or the dissonances different from the consonances.
I think the speed of the bow.
Will be what in the dissonances?
I think you could start slow and then get a little
Develop,
faster.
okay. Good.
And then vibrato could be different.
In what way? So which
I
is
guess it
more
could
intense
be-
on the dissonances or consonances?
Dissonance.
Okay, good. So I think it's the bow. I would have expressed the bow first because the answers are always in the bow first. But I think I would have, instead of saying more bow, I would have said kind of less bow and more intense. I would have like pull to the bridge, then release. Pull to the bridge and release. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Not respecting the 30-second notes. Try again. Ready, and pull to the bridge and vibrate a lot. And release. Let go. And pull to the bridge especially. It's intense here. Then release. Good. Does that make sense? You heard that?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what this piece is about. This piece is very confusing because it's marked poco forte, which is the same as the first movement. And I don't understand that, why they're the same dynamic. So I'm going to have to ask Brahms. I'll probably see him before you do, so I'll let you know about that. I mean, I hope so. That would be nice. Okay, so play, aha, good. So I had a colleague, Victor Yampolsky at Northwestern, who his father was Weistrock's pianist, so he likes to grow up like, you know, listen to them practicing, and so, but he used to get very adamant. He said, our students learn 1/3 of music. They learn 1/3, 2/3 in piano part. They learn 1 line of 3 lines, you know? Very emphatic about that. He also used to say really cool things like, you play like chicken soup without chicken. Yeah, there were a lot of great quotes from him. So this part at the beginning, what the piano has, do you know what the articulation the piano has? It's very cool.
I don't know exactly what's written, but it's.
Okay, but some of it is written in your part. There's a line there. Come take a look at this. Do you have the? Look what's here. A dot and a dash. Okay. Can I sit down and think for a second?
Yes.
So I think it's. I don't know. Some days I can think of one. So I think it's like. Can we try it from the beginning? Ready? Go. Brahms wrote this because he wants maybe the 3rd beat to be late. Sorry, that piano out of tune. Okay.
Sorry.
Distracted by the
Oh,
beautiful
there
piano playing, no doubt.
There you
So how many of you actually sit down and listen to your pieces watching the piano part? You all do that? You really, really, really should. Because the piano part is full of clues about interpretation. So watch this. Come over and look at the piano part. You sing it all in your head. I'll try and sing with my throat. So, resisted to the 3rd beat. Da, 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 da. This is lifted and resisted 3rd beat. Now, what do you see in the next bar?
More 30 seconds. Or the
It's
next one?
the piano part.
Oh. Chord notes.
What else do you see?
They're chords. They're moving. They're slurred.
The slur, right? So right? Instead of stopping the rhythm, stop, please. Can I go ahead? Not yet. I want to go ahead here. Just wait. How about now? Maybe okay. Can I go? No downbeats here, right? Then downbeat. Then you've got another slow right?
Okay.
Do you see how all these things in the piano part are part of what you do?
Yeah.
Can you not pay attention to the clarinet notes here and play it? Can you do it from memory, kind of ish?
Yeah, I can.
Okay,
Mhm.
can you do it again? And I'm going to try and amplify the things that I was showing you in the piano part.
Okay.
I'm purposely playing too loud. I understand that I'm not really accompanying you. I apologize for that, but I'm trying to show you something, okay?
Okay.
So. This is fine. I'm just trying to illustrate something for them. Good. So I wasn't going the same tempo all the time.
Mhm.
So what do you make of that?
I think like with the 30 seconds, it's kind of driving to the next note, I guess. Especially with the half steps and the.
So you're okay with that, to play a lot of different tempos within the same time? Same tempo?
Not like too many.
Okay, was it warm or cold today? And those are your only two choices. Basically warm today, right? It was nice. Josh. Josh is from Kansas. So, which can be, it's not warm by Kansas standards. No, but it was basically a nice day today, right? It was basically warm. But I bet if you were up early, like 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock or whatever early is for a college student, 9 o'clock, it was
6:45.
it was brisk, right? But you said today is a warm day. So within the context of this, the range of temperatures was warm, right? So I like to talk about rhythm being sort of like a river. The river might be going 3 miles an hour, but there might be places that are going 6 or 7 miles an hour, and other places that are going 2, but it's all the same tempo. So I think it's totally fine, especially within the context of romantic music, to play different tempos, as long as people don't get whiplash, you know?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that Brahms is trying to say, to play the slow side of the rhythm at the beginning because of that voicing that he does, dom, dom. And somebody put those lines in, which is great. I don't know if those meant like long, but they also could put the dots, so. Right? Yeah, good. One more time. Dolce. Good. Do you want a faster or slower vibrato in the Dolce?
Slower. I think just it's a little bit sweeter.
Yeah.
Delicate.
So I think that there's a cool sound. By the way, everything that we do, well, we learned like a certain way. Let me describe it this way. We learn to play first. I want to play the viola song. I play several strings at once, then I learned how to play really well on one string. Then I learned how to play double stops. So when we begin, we learn how to play open strings. And then people say, no, you've got to get really good, so you have to play. You can't play any open strings anymore. Then you get really good. You can play open strings again. Right? So life is kind of strange. Okay, so we learn, how do we play the loudest, fast or slow bow?
Fast bow.
Absolutely correct. Until you get to the very highest level, where the loudest playing is slow bow.
Okay.
So what's more intense? What's more relaxed, slow vibrato or fast vibrato?
Depends.
Depends is a great answer. Okay, so we generally think of slow vibrato, but there are these specialty sounds like something like there's a really loud sound with a very slow bow and slow vibrato, right? If you listen to some great violinist playing Brahms, is it the First Symphony that has the high concertmaster solo? I think it is. Like, I was astounded the first time I heard Joseph Silverstein do that. You know, I was used to kind of student orchestras, and this guy sounded really good. And it was like slow vibrato up high. I said, wow, I had no idea that people did that, you know? So everything, at the highest level, things are often counterintuitive. So here, when we want to be relaxed, I think we'd want a faster, narrower vibrato and a fast, light bow.
Okay.
So, yeah. Does that make sense? So let's take the 2 bars before the dolce, and explain to me this harmonic.
Seems like it's kind of coming out of thin air, especially since there's no piano playing on that first beat.
Ah, interesting. Good, great. Can I sit down at the piano again? Thank you. Let's look at what happened with the 2 bars. I like that reasoning. Let's check whether that's absolutely so. Can you take 2 bars before that? So,
Before the harmonic?
yeah. Ready? And. So is the first note a consonance or dissonance? Dissonance. And then the piano plays this one. You just gotta love, right? So the 2 notes, 2 bars before it are really wild dissonances, getting progressively actually more dissonant. So it could be exactly the opposite, which would be very cool.
Okay.
Or it could be, again, we don't know for sure, right?
Okay.
Which
yeah.
one do you feel?
I guess I always felt a little bit like it comes out of thin air, but I can
Okay,
try-
good.
I can
Are you
try
playing it
this.
down bow or up bow?
Down.
Yeah. To me, a harmonic is a note which highlights something. It is a dead sound, but it's kind of a spectacular dead sound. So to me, when everything has been, and this is just a taste or a different kind of, thing. Do you like? My wife and my mom make spaghetti sauce differently, and I like them both. Depending on who I'm with. Okay. So but I think this could be with a really intense vibrato too.
Okay.
Harmonics are very interesting notes, and I think we have to be careful about where we use them. I'm not saying it's wrong. It could be right, but it didn't seem to fit in with what I was thinking. But you
Okay.
can convince me otherwise, okay? Can we take the 2 bars before? Can you do something with the bow on the harmonic? And play super light on it and see what happens if you can make it to be different than the previous 2 measures.
Okay.
I hadn't thought of it being different than the previous 2 measures, and I thought because the piano wasn't there on the downbeat that you needed to give it more oomph.
Oh,
But
okay.
you could, there's nothing wrong with what you're saying.
Okay.
Good. So if you play a harmonic, do you think the notes around it will have to have faster or slower vibrato?
Slower?
I was going to go with faster because to me the harmonic is a really interesting effect, and so I think you want to have people not be so calm.
Okay.
Can you try it again with faster vibrato, even on the D, E flat, and then one more time. And narrower vibrato. Fastball. I like this. Then you can slow the vibrato down here. Okay, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
How many times times does come back in this piece?
After that, I think
No,
it's-
including all told.
all of them. I think there's 5.
Good. I think there are 6, depending on how you count the ending. Okay,
Okay.
great. So it's great to have a plan, right?
Mhm.
Can you play the third one?
Okay.
Ready, and... Good. So where's that?
I think it's for the second one.
Yeah, you played the
And
second
the
one. I think she
second
played a
one.
different one. So the third one I think is here, isn't it? Isn't this the third one? The low one? Am I right? One,
Yeah.
2. So can we play
Yeah.
the low one?
Okay.
Ready, and... So, how do you want this one to be?
I thought it was more sorrowful. It's just, I don't know, just the lower register just seems a
So
lot.
fast or slow vibrato?
I guess I was doing faster. I guess I was trying to do wider.
Wider is good.
But-
Okay, yeah. So I feel this is kind of like a flourless chocolate cake. Does that make any sense? Can we try it? So... Sorry. Does that make sense? So it's very dense, right? It's not that necessarily. Can you try it once with a really dense, kind of compact in both hands? So it's not maybe the. Let's make it like very concentrated on the fingertip
Okay.
with the vibrato. I like it. Good. So something that we can do a lot with making our sounds different would be to make the left hand feel different. So do you make this heavy or light with the left hand? This one.
Heavy.
Right, so even those are heavy, right? And that one can be heavy too. This one might be light, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the sweetest one of all 6 of them? I'm counting this one as a 6th one, right? Does that make sense?
Okay. I mean, this one's sweet because I feel like it's kind of like going back to like the very beginning of like the story or something. But I think this is also sweet, like sentimentally sweet.
Uh-huh.
And this is, you know, the
Yeah, maybe it's only 5 of
very,
them.
very end.
Yeah, so it's probably this one, right? The
Yeah.
next one?
The last
we-
full one.
Right, so can we play bar 61? Can we play that one? Good for you. Good. So what does the piano part do for your rhythm here? Do you want to play it again? And
Sure.
listen? Think about that. Nice. Good. That's beautiful. What did she do differently the second time around? Anybody? How are you affected by the piano part?
Because she's kind of driving towards the next.
Yeah, so
measure.
it's not resisted, right? At the beginning, dear, don't go, don't stay here. This is, yeah, pushing you forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. So you're aware of all these things, and that's part of your plan too, the piano part. It will be. It'll be
Yeah,
great.
it will be
Right.
more.
So great. So let's try one more thing. And so I think we overemphasize the idea of visual cueing when we teach how to play chamber music, and this is chamber music, right? Can we try from the very beginning? try something? Will I get in trouble if I play out here in the hallway? No? Okay, let's try it again from here. Ready, go. So I was leading from the other room, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this was a mystery to me. I've been teaching for a long time. And I wondered why, when I played with pianists, whether it was student pianists or wonderful accompanists, professional accompanists, why the pianists always followed me? Why they never followed the students? I actually wondered this for about 20 years. And I realized that I was sending signals that the students weren't. And so it's all sound signals, right? It's all like by intensity of the bow or intensity of the left hand, you're predicting the next thing, right? So even in a long note, you can say the next note's going to come earlier, right, without any cueing.
Okay.
And so that's something as we learn to play and as we learn to play with piano, we want to control, So I saw the first time, you're like, I'm not sure how this goes together, but you're a really wonderful violist. So can we try this? Can you just go over here? I'm not going to make you go in the hallway because that's a little bit severe. But can you try leading it? And I did some crazy things. I did some things that I'm not proud of. Just in terms of timing, but just to be weird. Right? Can you try it?
Okay.
And so it's intensity of the bow and intensity of the vibrato are going to signal changes. So there's no actually hard and fast rule. I was trying to make a hard and fast rule. Like if you want something to be late, you could slow things down. But that's not necessarily true. Basically, any change you want to signal with an increase of intensity, right? It's like a flashing light when you're on the highway or something,
Okay.
Try it. So I want you to raise your hand when I say the number from 0 to 10. 0 is no rubato, 10 is a lot of rubato. Okay, how much she used. Okay, we'll start at 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they are your friends. Clearly they're your friends, because I would have voted for about 2. I don't think you did very much.
Okay.
Can you try for like a 5 or 6? Can you
Okay.
do a lot more?
Okay.
The point of this is not necessarily to play it beautifully, but to be able to lead
Oh,
in
okay.
a crazy way, okay? That was very beautiful, but the point of this exercise is to be crazy.
Okay.
Okay? Good! Nice. Try and speed up. Nice, good. Good, good. That's fantastic. Great job. Did you hear how much she was grabbing us and making us go with her? Now, come back over here. Play it as beautifully as you possibly can, but play as if you're playing crazy. Okay? Play as if that nobody's expecting you to do this, right?
Okay.
But amplify it all, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Great. Dissonance and consonance here. Use the piano for your rhythm.
5 miles.
Nice. Now this is a very special measure. Don't blow it. Thank you. Good. Very good. Yeah. Bravo. Great. Well, thank you so much for your wonderful collaboration, and thank you all for listening to 2 hours of a viola class. That takes a special. I think.